Worms can eat soil or sand, and therefore worm casts can contain either soil or sand. Worm casts can be worm-shaped. If worms ate ice cream, they may make worm-shaped casts made of ice cream. I pushed real ice cream through a syringe to make the shape. If worms ate mashed potatoes, they could produce worm-shaped casts made of mashed potatoes. I used real mashed potato and a syringe. The earthworm is not meant to look like it's wearing any clothes. The earthworm's pink body itself is meant to have just got much larger from eating all the ice cream and mashed potatoes. Basically, I've made a fat suit for the worm. The worm ate stuffing and pooped out a worm cast made of stuffing. The worm felt so distressing feelings, but when they ate food, they felt full instead. Feeling full was better than the other feelings. The worm thought they had to eat to feel all right, but they had gained so much weight. The worm pondered what to do. They decided if they ate inedible food, they would still feel full, but the food wouldn't have any calories. The worm ate hand cream and glitter with an array of different colours and pooped out a rainbow-coloured worm cast containing hand cream and glitter. On their new inedible food diet, the worm had lost weight, but disaster struck. The worm had eaten a brown and orange rusty nail, and the nail was stuck inside the worm. You could see the nail through the worm's skin. I also stitched on the pattern of segments with black thread. The worm was rushed to hospital and needed surgery immediately. After the operation, the doctor said to the worm, "You need therapy." The worm told the doctor they'd had therapy and it didn't work. The doctor then replied with, "In my notes it said you weren't compliant and didn't try with the therapy homework." The doctor went on, "We can only help you so much. You have to choose to get better, but you choose food instead." The worm moved back onto edible food and put the weight back on. The worm had a baby with sweet potato, but they didn't realize food couldn't bring them love. Because the worm squeezed out the sweet potato baby, the baby's head resembled a worm cast made of sweet potato. There was a big red ribbon atop the head. Despite their appearance, the baby was anything but sweet. After making the baby, the worm felt an empty feeling towards their food partner, and the worm thought, "Why doesn't the food love me?" The worm thought they'd try having a baby with more food. The worm gorged on loads of raw red meat. The worm then pooped out a cast of the meat. The cast was a huge mound and looked like it had squiggly lines in it like the other casts. The worm had basically made mince. The red meat, however, had made the worm very constipated, and the worm had to go to hospital. In hospital, the worm's diet was limited. The worm needed food to stave off their feelings of distress. Then the worm's sweet potato baby came in. The worm felt tempted to eat their sweet potato baby. The worm thought, "No, I can't do that." But the worm was so tempted. The baby began asking the worm why they were so fat, and the baby was keep telling the worm they were fat. The worm said, "Please don't push me." The worm didn't want to eat their baby. The baby wouldn't cease their talking. The worm had had enough. They needed food, and they ate their baby. Afterwards, the worm felt so guilty. They questioned why they did it. They would do anything to bring their baby back. The doctor said, "There's a chance you might be able to poop your baby out alive, but if you eat more food, then the food will get all mixed in with the baby, and the baby will become diluted and lost. If you want your baby to live, you have to not eat until you poop out your baby. The worm had thought they needed food. This was too much. The worm had to save their baby. They couldn't lose them again. The worm realized they shouldn't put food first. The worm was still constipated though, and had to endure without food for a few days, but finally they let out an explosive bowel movement and pooped out their baby. The baby was alive. The worm exclaimed to the doctor, "I'm going to try therapy again." After the worm had saved their baby and showed they cared, the baby was just a little bit nicer to their worm parent. Following therapy, the worm didn't want to eat anything bad at all, as they didn't want their mental health disorder to take over again. Eventually, though, they would realize everything in moderation was right. They ate butter, pooped it out, and spread it on their child's toast. They sat down together and talked. The worm had now concentrated on their child, and their relationship had grown.